Today is a special day as I embark on my first PC building journey. Given my budget constraints, I've only got $300 to spend on this project, and trust me, that is all I need for a great setup. Stick around as I guide you through the process, proving that building a budget PC is not only possible but incredibly rewarding. Before diving into the actual build, I spent days learning about the nuance of PC building. I initially thought it was an easy task, but I soon realized there were many more things to pay attention to. Fortunately, I found great tutorials that helped me select the right components and assemble them in the correct way. Now let's talk about the components, starting with the motherboard. I opted for a Chinese motherboard called X99, specifically designed to work with old Xeon CPUs. These processors, part of Intel server lineup, present a cost-effective solution for budget PCs. Take the E5-2670 V3 for instance. It boasts 12 cores and 24 threads, make it ideal for heavy multitasking like video editing and 3D rendering. When Intel launched it back in 2014, it had a suggested price of $1,589, but nowadays you can find it for about $10 on AliExpress. For these reasons, I bought this processor for my computer. Moving on, let's talk about RAM and SSD memory. I went with a single 16GB stick for now, costing me around $27. I plan on buying another one to activate the dual channel of the motherboard and therefore increase the performance of the PC. Later, I added a 500GB HD and a 512GB SSD. Cooling is crucial as well as the power supply. That's why I invested in this CPU cooler you can see right here. When you buy a CPU cooler, make sure it's compatible with your motherboard socket. In my case, the cooler must be compatible with the LG A2011 socket. As for the power supply, I choose the Corsair CV650, providing 650 watts for about $80. Quality matters here, so make sure you don't use a low quality PSU that will compromise the entire system. For the video card, I choose a GT 1030 that costs around $60. Some may wonder why I paid this amount for an old entry-level GPU when I could buy a, let's say, RX 580 for the same money on AliExpress. Well, that's almost right, but in my country, if you import something more expensive than $50, you have to pay 92% in taxes, so a $60 GPU would cost me around $115. That's why I decided to pick up a GTX 1030 from a local store until I have the money to buy a better video card. Now that I finished explaining the components, it's time to assemble them. First, I placed the processor on the motherboard and then installed the RAM memory. In the next step, I applied thermal paste over the CPU and then installed the CPU cooler. Some time later, I screwed the motherboard onto the case. Next, I installed the power supply to the case. In this case model, the PSU should be at the top with its cooler upside down. Then I place the video card and the Wi-Fi module and proceed to install the HD and SSD memories. In the end, I connected all the cable, and as you can see right here, there are lots and lots of them. I won't dive deep into how to connect everything because there are great tutorials you can watch and learn from. With everything connected, I pressed the power button and for a moment I felt proud of myself. This case is really beautiful and everything is working fine. I didn't show it, but there is a little button right here, and when I pressed it, the RGB lights bright in a different way. That's so nice! Now we've reached the end of this video and I hope you enjoyed it. I put a list of all components I used in the description in case you are interested in. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.